A series of questionable officiating calls against Caitlin Clark has sparked a major controversy, sending shockwaves through the league.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off.
Frame-by-frame footage confirms what many fans and analysts have suspected for a while: a consistent pattern of biased officiating aimed at Caitlin Clark, the standout sophomore for the Indiana Fever. But things get even more intense. The controversy has thrown WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert into crisis mode amid rumors that NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is losing patience and considering bold intervention. Could Engelbert's handling of the situation put her job at risk? Stay tuned. The story is packed with twists, and the truth might just leave you speechless.
Clark gets it. She's got time. Cloud defending. Clark trying to create some airspace. Long three at the horn. Oh! Caitlin Clark rising from the ashes here in the third.
The Indiana Fever went head-to-head with the Atlanta Dream in a heart-stopping 91-90 loss. On paper, it was a showcase of star power, with Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell delivering a powerhouse performance. Clark alone racked up 27 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds, tying Courtney Vandersloot's record for the most 20-point 10-assist games in WNBA history. And here's the jaw-dropper: Clark accomplished that feat in just 42 games, while Vandersloot took over 400. Adam Silver's decision to fire Cathy Engelbert. She also became the 4th fastest player to hit 800 career points. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe my channel for more awesome content. Thanks. By all accounts, this should have been a night for celebration. A moment that had fans buzzing and analysts praising Clark's meteoric rise, but instead something else stole the spotlight. A viral frame-by-frame breakdown circulating on social media has shifted the conversation entirely. The video appears to reveal a deeply troubling pattern of officiating, one that seems systematically stacked against Clark. We're not just talking about the occasional bad call. This footage captures missed whistles, phantom fouls, and blatant no calls that seem far too frequent to dismiss as coincidence. What's more, the silence or lack of action from the WNBA has only intensified the outrage. Rather than dousing the flames, the league's response has thrown gasoline on an already explosive situation.
One of the things that's going on social media right now as we speak is the WNBA referees are getting destroyed. And I mean, they are getting crushed online. Honestly, they're getting crushed during every single game. I've seen a lot of people come out and say, the WNBA referees, is this what it's about? Because they're the worst referees in the history of any referee.
And here's where things take a dramatic turn. Clark was hit with questionable fouls while playing solid textbook defense, standing vertical, no movement, and yet still getting whistled. In contrast, similar contact by opponents when uncalled. This isn't random. It looks targeted. The pattern is so obvious, even casual fans, analysts, and celebrities are speaking out. When golfers are calling out basketball refs, you know it's serious. What's worse, the WNBA's silence. No statements, no reviews, not even the usual way. Looking into it, the lack of response is fueling a viral backlash, with media and fans suggesting the league is uncomfortable with Clark's stardom. And it's not just about one player. Clark is single-handedly driving attendance, TV ratings, and sponsorships, drawing nearly 70% of the league's viewership. Yet instead of embracing her, some believe the league is trying to contain her. A hot mic incident even exposed broadcasters being given scripted talking points on how to discuss Clark. If media coverage is being controlled, is officiating too at the referee's explosive anti-Caitlin Clark agenda exposed? Center of it all is WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, now under fire. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who oversees the WNBA, is reportedly watching closely and losing patience with the league at a critical crossroads. This controversy could reshape its future.
You know what's funny about the commissioner of the WNBA? She successfully pisses off everybody. Regardless of which side you're on, it seems like she's either getting called a racist, but at the same time trying to prop up players that clearly are not in the same marketable lane.
And the story takes another twist. Engelbert's handling of a separate controversy, a baseless investigation into alleged racist chants by Indiana Fever fans, has only made things worse. The claims, based on unverified social media posts, lacked any video or audio proof. The accuser's account is now locked, and the supposed chants were traced back to a YouTuber's laugh track. Even the Chicago Sky coach formerly with Indiana heard nothing inappropriate, yet the WNBA launched a full investigation with no clear timeline, casting doubt over Indiana's fans. Meanwhile, real threats against players like Clark's Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall, including posts with bullseye targets, are being overlooked. This selective outrage leaves many baffled.
Well, there's a couple angles. One is the economic model that drives valuation. So your revenue and our media rights deal and our corporate partnership revenue, and obviously fandom in arena and on digital and social platforms. And then there's the player storytelling, which is more the marketing angle, where we've hired a lot of expertise around that in-house at the WNBA to drive storytelling, short form, medium form content, in addition to obviously.
From a business standpoint, the WNBA's approach borders on organizational malpractice. The league has long struggled financially, relying heavily on NBA support, but Clark's emergence has shifted the landscape, bringing in new fans, boosting media deals, merchandise sales, and increasing viewership, social media engagement, and ticket sales across the league. Clark's rise is elevating other stars like AJ Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu to wider audiences. So, why does it seem like the league is fighting its biggest asset? The fever dream game should have been a highlight, but inconsistent and excessive foul calls slowed the pace. Fan and media outrage erupts and hurt the viewing experience when calls unfairly target Clark, penalizing her defense but ignoring her offense. It leaves a bad taste for new fans. No league trying to grow once its game seen as rigged.
The other thing they're trying to speak into existence is 6 or 7 players averaging double figures. They believe it.
And then things spiral out of control. The WNBA's investigation into Fever fans risks pushing away the very supporters driving the league's growth, those buying tickets, jerseys, and subscriptions, turning the league around financially. Yet, Engelbert's response treats these fans like suspects in a hate crime based on a hoax. There's even talk of pulling the All-Star game from Indianapolis over false claim, a move that would be a career-ending blunder. What stands out most is Clark's professionalism. Despite tough physical play, missed calls, and the league's apparent resistance to her rise, she never complains or argues. She simply lets her game do the talking. Her teammates have begun speaking up about the unfair treatment, but Clark remains calm, highlighting the contrast with the league's chaotic response. This calm only underscores the injustice. Clark is breaking records while being physically targeted without protection. The lack of calls encourages rough play that could lead to injury, something the WNBA absolutely cannot afford with its biggest star. By the end of this, you'll see why this matters so much.
The New York Liberty hands the Indiana Fever their second loss of the season, with many fans blaming the referees for their horrible officiating at the end of the game.
The controversy goes beyond officiating. Social media has become a war zone, with Clark's fans clashing against a vocal minority trying to gatekeep the WNBA. The monkey noises hoax is just the latest example. Previously, every hard fall or questionable call was twisted into a victim narrative targeting Clark supporters. Even LeBron James got caught up in the backlash after simply congratulating Clark on a triple-double. Fans absurdly accused him of pandering or ignoring black athletes despite his long history of social justice activism. The irony is staggering. This toxic environment has been allowed to fester under Engelbert's watch. By validating baseless claims and ignoring real threats, she's created a league where praising a player's achievement, impact on the WNBA, and future implications feels like a racial betrayal. It's a circus, and she's either the ringmaster or failing to manage it. The WNBA now faces 3 choices: admit officiating problems and commit to fairness, ignore the issue and hope it dies down, their current but weakening strategy, or deny the footage's validity, a risky move given how clear it is.
Will they call it a transition take foul? They will, and now Clark gets a T in addition. That is an unbelievably costly sequence.
No matter what the WNBA decides, the damage is done. The narrative is clear. The league is holding back its biggest star. Fans see Clark getting hammered without calls while others get free throws for minimal contact. The viral compilation makes this undeniable. But this isn't just about Clark, it's about the future of the WNBA. Clark's recent left quad strain, sidelining her for at least 2 weeks, has had a major impact on ticket prices and attendance as the Fever Star Guard and the 2024 #1 draft. She's been a key driver of record-breaking crowds and viewership, contributing about 26.5% of the league's 2024 revenue since her injury announcement on May 25th. 2025 ticket prices for Fever games have plummeted, dropping 41% overall, with some games falling as much as 71%. High-profile matchups moved to larger venues to accommodate Clark-driven demand now face lower excitement and attendance. Clark's absence threatens the team's ability to fill arenas, a challenge when her games routinely sold Final Thoughts and Predictions out or set attendance records, including a 20,711 fan record. In 2024, at the start of 2025, the WNBA was on track to generate over $200 million annually, largely thanks to Clark and a $2 billion media rights deal, but with her out, the league faces a $40 to $50 million revenue loss. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is watching closely. While the NBA has faced its own controversies, Silver focuses on sustainable growth and fan engagement. Meanwhile, Engelbert seems distracted by social media controversies, chasing baseless racism claims instead of supporting the league's biggest asset. The WNBA is on the brink of financial independence, but every fake investigation and misstep risks alienating the fans who made that possible. If Engelbert continues down this path, Silva may be forced to intervene. The clock is ticking. Engelbert must choose whether to be remembered as the commissioner who made the WNBA profitable or the one who squandered its best chance at lasting relevance. A conversation with Silva is inevitable, and it may well end with calls for new leadership, because if Engelbert keeps chasing fairy tales while the league's future hangs in the balance, the fallout won't just be likely, it's unavoidable. And
I was in my first collective bargaining meeting in the last round, and we have come a long way. But we all said we're going to invest, the owners are going to invest, and we're actually going to build an economic model to be able to set this league up for decades and to set these players up for generations. And we have so many great rookie classes to come. Even if you look at the U17 players, they're amazing. So we want to set this model up to be sustainable. We did give charter for the entire season and playoffs last year. That'll continue. That is, obviously is on the list, as well as higher player pay. And now we have a media rights deal that will help us really
the big NBC deal, right? You're part of that.
Return a lot of that to.
This scandal goes beyond bad calls or false racism claims. It's a league struggling with itself, unable to seize its biggest opportunity. Clark's success doesn't take away from other players, it lifts them up. Her fans aren't detracting from the WNBA, they are adding value to the whole game. The league deserves better, the players deserve better, the fans deserve better. And if Engelbert can't deliver, that maybe it's time for someone who can. If you agree the WNBA needs new leadership, hit that like button, drop a comment saying fair whistles. If you want consistent officiating, the story is far from over. The next chapter could change everything. Stay tuned, because the truth is just getting started. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.